What's up, everybody? I am Jeremy, and you are listening to Jeremy's World 10. Boom! I love that little intro. Gets my juices just flowing. I took some notes today about what I want to talk about and what I want to talk about. You may find totally interesting and you may find not interesting at all. And if I know my audience when it comes to Weld Tech Designs, a lot of you guys are going to skip over this. And I definitely encourage you to listen to this is because it may not necessarily apply to you now, but may apply to you in the future. But I will tell you that in my never-ending goal to build things and have fun, in the process of that, I decided to start a podcast. And why not start a podcast? We started doing a YouTube channel a little over a year ago, coming up on 2 years maybe. And our goal was to really just bring you guys, good information about vans. Our goal was to, educate you on what kind of van you're going to be building and what the obstacles that you may face and things of that nature. And in that process of not only the YouTube channel growing, my own personal growth and what I've wanted to do. So I decided, okay, why not start my own podcast? And that's going to be Jeremy's World 10. And I know we've gotten into a little bit about what my goal of that podcast overall is going to be, but I really don't think I've even scratched the surface on, my true desires and goals and what I would like that to do. And now I know that it has been a couple weeks since we've actually brought a podcast to either one of the channels, and I'm not really sure in the direction in which it's going to go, and we may just combine them all, and it may just be Jeremy's World 10 featured on Weld Tech Designs channel. And if you choose to listen to it and gain more value from it, then that is great. And if you don't want to watch it, you obviously have the opportunity to skip over it. This, until the channel grows enough over on Jeremy's World 10, we're going to kind of be cross promoting them both just so that we can really, help this grow. You're going to use one. I'm going to use my right arm to make my left arm stronger, and that's what we're doing here with Jeremy's World 10. So, the biggest goal that I've wanted to do in this podcast and with any of our videos is just really bring you guys quality content. The goal in this all was to give you guys information. There is no necessarily monetary value in this for me at all. It is more just a desire to, feed you guys with information to better equip you the same way that people in my life have given me information to better equip me. And that's it. It's, I guess you could say paying it forward, paying it back really is what I would want to call it. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have people in my life or in the off-road community that were, taught me tremendously about things, that otherwise I would have had no clue or not known how to do. And luckily for me, I took the initiative to just be a sponge and learn as much as I could. And I feel that I'm still doing that to this day. I really enjoy learning about anything that could, better help my life. And so I took some notes here because I really wanted to make sure that I, didn't just get off on a rant and get sidetracked about just everything. Because, as my wife would tease me, that's what I do. But more about this podcast is really what I want it to be doing is I want it to be encouraging you and in life and in business, in parenting and in personal growth. And what that could mean is, I will definitely not say that I am the best parent, but I did have really great parents, which helped me be the best parent that I know how. And I am constantly learning and being challenged every day to be a better and better parent. And that is something that is definitely very important in my life. God, I wish I could just keep this thing from turning off. All right. so fast. So, and I think that that's what's great is because every stage in our life, every time, every point in our life, you may learn things that you never thought you would be interested in learning or want to learn, or you may reflect back and be like, man, I learned how to do this X amount of, days, years, weeks ago, but I never thought that that would be applicable to my living situation. So I really didn't pay attention to it. Boy, I wish I would have, because how much I could use that now. I know personally me, I look back on things and I go, man, I really wish that I would have paid more attention on how to do, X, because if I would have learned how to do X, then I would be even farther ahead than I am now. And unfortunately, we can't live in that world of like, oh, coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's like, what are we going to do? So what is Jeremy's World 10? It's just my world. It's my life. It's the life that I am currently living. And here we go with that again. Man, I got to work on that, So, shout out to the winner of who won that, our first episode. God, that was horrible. So, and I hope that I can look back on these podcasts. If anything else, for all 12 people that are watching this, I hope that I will be able to also reflect. You could call this a video diary if you wanted, so that one day that I could look back on this personally and reflect on it and say, yes, you have grown, or no, you haven't grown, or these are the areas in your life in which you need in order to work on more, or man, you knew how to do this, or perhaps it was just speaking without using this darn word which we put in our sentence for who knows why, but really, that's something that I will be able to reflect back on. I will be able to look back on these and learn. So while you're on this journey with me, I hope that you also learn. And that right there is the goal of this. Like, we are all on a journey of growth, whether you choose to be or don't. And especially in this extremely trying time right now that we have, where we're all on lockdown because we have this coronavirus going down. So, hey, why not spend more time up here in the attic creating podcasts, creating content? I really enjoyed. I came in early this morning and I just wrote for, an hour, probably an hour and a half. And I know that probably seems crazy because you would probably think, well, man, I just come in early and get to welding or something. But I really use that time to just reflect and look at my life, what's going on in it. And I really do enjoy writing. And that's where I kind of want to just, share some of that stuff with you, because as I grow, I hope that I can also teach my team here to grow. It's not one of those things, where you get, some people will just want to tell you, oh, do this and do this and do this. And, you may look at them and go, well, what are you doing? And really here, I want to, lead by example. And that's maybe just, hey guys, this is what I'm doing. Hey, this is what I've learned. Hey, what do you guys think about doing this? Because overall, my goal is to have my team grow, because I know that I cannot do this alone and I need to surround myself with a good team. And whether that be in business or in your personal life, it also comes down to your friends. And, I was listening to one of my favorite podcast person right now, and that would be Andy Frisella. And he was, talking about the growth of your friends, and sometimes how you need to, either let go of them because you are normally as good as your 5 people around you, or, so it may be. And I think that is a great, metaphors, because I really do feel that the people you surround yourself with are a giant reflection of you. And as my wife and I sat here and talked about, the old Jeremy and what he used to be, I could look at the people that I surrounded myself around at that time, and it totally was true. I was also a reflection of them as far as, what they like to do, say that party lifestyle, going out all the time. It was a combination of both of those. So I think that was definitely important, and something that now when I look back on it, I can, laugh and go, yeah, were good times. And, I'm glad I'm not doing it now. And I look at other people, and they may have had children younger, and now they're going through that, same phase now, and it may just be the people that they hang out with or what they're doing. And, and as young kids also, I think that's the biggest thing is, you may go, man, I don't, why do my parents not let me hang out with them? It's because your parents see the potential that you have and the potential that you can bring to this world. However, your friends could be the number one thing to not allow you to accomplish, what your real goal is. And as we talk about this whole coronavirus thing, and I'm just thinking about, really using our time wisely. And I think, okay, yeah, we're inside right now. And you know what's great about, I looked at the difference between, okay, if this were to happen, 30 years ago when I was a kid, before there was internet, before there was anything, you had cable TV and you had cable TV. So what were your options at that time? Would have been like, it would have been horrible to be locked in a house and just have I would have had Scooby-Doo and the Roadrunner and, the Flintstones, the Jetsons, things of that nature. But now, you may look at this as, oh man, I got to be, locked in my house for the next 2 weeks. And it's not really you're locked in your house, but, it's definitely encouraged to not go out and, giant gatherings. But what you don't realize is right now you have an opportunity without the distractions of work. And now you may be working from home, and, obviously it depends on where, what kind of job you have. But you have an opportunity right now to just sit down and learn, whether that be reading a book or just getting on the internet and learning something new. You have a library in your house. And when you think about that, that is mind blowing that, as a child or growing up, or even when I was going to college, it was like, okay, you had to go to the library because that is the only place that the books that you need to get the information was going to be. You had to go to the library. If you didn't go to the library, there was no getting around it unless you were just going to fake it. And that's the whole thing is now you don't even have to go to the library. You have a library right here on your phone. Any information that you could I don't know what you couldn't get on this. It's all right here. You carry it around with you. You carry a library of information around with you every day. So the amount that you can learn, educating yourself, getting smarter over these next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, who knows how long that this is going to be. I mean, that's huge. And if you were to take the knowledge that you gain right now and then apply that over the next 6 months, over the next year, and you're taking that knowledge and it's like compounding interest. That's the whole thing. It's like you gained a little bit and now you're going to gain a little bit more, and then you like it. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to invest a little bit more. All this investing is investing in you. You're making yourself better for not just today, not just the next 2 weeks, but for your lifetime if you take that knowledge that you learned and apply it. And I think that's the thing with parents or with teachers. They see oh man, I see so much potential in you if you'll only just apply it. And I know that I'm guilty of this too, as far as I get sidetracked with so many different adventures and obstacles that come my way. And I'm like, oh gosh, I want to do this, or I want to do this. And, that is what is great about my wife. And if I can just convince her to come on another podcast and we could talk about some of these other things, but that's what's great about having this structure, is that she will be like, oh, you should, come on, Jeremy, you just need to focus and do this one thing. And I think that even when it comes to business, my constant desire to build and build new things is at the same time can be my own, worst nightmare or demise, because really what I do is it sidetracks me from my true goal or potential. I may go, oh, that I want to go and do this, or, oh, I want to go do this. And who knows, I could look back in a year from now and look at the time that I spent doing this podcast. I could go, I did that for a year and it didn't really, it didn't really pay off. It didn't really, I don't know that I gained the knowledge from it, or who knows, maybe you guys didn't gain the knowledge from it, of just some babbling guy over here talking on a microphone. Because even when we watch the videos, I know a lot of you guys are always like, oh, I just want to see more of the vans, and don't want to hear me. And that, when you think about that, you're like, hey, just show me the pictures. And that's where we're at on Instagram. Oh, just show me the picture. I just want to see the cool picture. But then you're going to look at that cool picture and you're going to turn around and you're going to message and be like, hey, I have this same van and I want to do the same lift. What size tires can I run on it? And I think to myself, well, did you read the post? Because the post said that this was a Baja Grocery Getter kit and we're running 285 tires. Or it could be an Instagram or a YouTube video and I walk you through the lift kit and I say, hey, this was 285 tires. This is a 6-inch kit. Here's what we did to the front. Here's what we did to the back. And you didn't listen. All you did was, oh yeah, I like the way that looks. All right, now I'm going to message them and ask them, what do I need to do to get that lift on my vehicle? And I'm like, I walked you through it. I taught you the steps. I was teaching you what to do along the way, but that was not important to you. However, then it will be important to you to then turn around and put, God, I sent you guys a message and you guys never reply, and I don't understand why. And I'm like, well, because I gave you the information. I gave you the information in the video along with a picture so that it completely helped you understand it. Now, this is life. How often are we given the tools? How often are we told, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, that you will gain these benefits. If you work really hard, you will have these benefits. It's the same thing, whether we talk about building a van or building a life or building success or building a business. The tools are there. The internet possesses the power to empower you to learn, to educate yourself, so then you can go out and do it. So that you can go out and do it yourself. The same reason that we even put videos out teaching you how to do it. We don't want you to be dependent on us to do it. I want you to be able to do it yourself. And I want to teach you how to do it. And that's the basis of Jeremy's World 10. I want to empower you. I want to teach you what I know. And at the same time, I appreciate it because I'm doing the same thing from other people. It's that trickle down effect. People, obviously like Gary Vee and, I'm going to say go like Neil Patel. There's all these other people that are very good in their own niche of what they do. And it's great. And I love looking at all these other people. And I've already said his name, but to me, if you don't know who he is and you've never listened to him, Andy Frisella is amazing. And the stuff that he talks about is great. And it really is just a breath of fresh air. And maybe one day, we'll get super lucky and he'll come hang out in the attic, or maybe, just dream in there. But anyways, guys, the point of this is it's all information. This all comes back to information, whether I'm providing you information, whether somebody else be providing you information. Right now, you have an ability. You have access, not an ability. You have the access to an abundance of information. And now, how are you going to take that information and apply it to your life? And when you take that information, you have to truly take all aspects of the information, whether you're taking it visually, whether you are taking it verbally. Like, you could listen to one of our videos, without seeing any words or without seeing anything in it. For instance, if you were to listen to this podcast over on Stitcher or iTunes or anything of that nature, I hope that you would gain information from just hearing my voice verbally. And that's it, okay? But now we're throwing one other great thing in on the form of YouTube and actually showing you pictures, because I know that not everybody is a verbal learner, but maybe a visual learner. And that's great, because that's the way that I am. I could read a book and pull stuff out of it and go, okay, I'll remember certain things. But if I see it in front of me and go, okay, this is how it's put together. Okay, I could build that. I could do that. That doesn't seem that difficult. That's great. That is what is amazing. So I encourage you to take the time and not only watch, but to listen to our videos out there before you just instantly pick up the phone and go, hey, I want to run 285s on my van. What lift kit can I run? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I have told you over and over and over and over again, if you want to do this to your vehicle, here's what you got to do. Now, if you have not found our YouTube channel, then I'm going to definitely encourage you to be like, hey, have you watched our YouTube channel? Yeah, I have. I've watched all your videos. I've seen them all. And you still are telling me you don't know what size tire to run on your, like if you want to run a 33-inch tire and you still don't know what lift kit that you want to run. Like, okay, like, but then you get pissed at me if you write a post and be like, hey, I sent you an email and I haven't heard a response from you. It's like, come on, guys. Like, really? Like, put in the time. And then when you put in the time, I'm putting in the time, because I spend so much time trying to make these audio or video informative things to help you out. Like, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm here for. And that is what I encourage you to, not only with me, I could care less about me. I want you to go beyond this. I'm talking like, now's a great time to learn about the stock market. And you may be like, well, why would I ever want to, there's probably one person out here. And if you are into the stock market, think about, how long have you been doing it? What have you learned doing it? And what ability do you have to teach other people to do it? That is something that is huge, in which you could build other people up and doing things. And I know that this is, now we're just on a rant and it's fun, but these are the type of things like that I would say, go out there and learn right now. I mean, people all over the place are saying like, hey, the stock market's going down. It's going down. Well, like they say, when there is a down economy like this, when the stock market is going down, is now the time to invest. And I don't know. That's not my area of expertise. Although I would tell you, I would love to learn more about that. So if you're if that's your expertise, give me a call. We'll talk. I would love to learn more about it. I would even love to have you on the podcast to talk about it. And I think that that's one thing. So in this whole revolution of things, I think that that's the one reason why I haven't put out any content lately in the attic here on our podcast, is because I haven't felt like, for one, that there was anything super valuable that I could bring to you to make you want to just hang out and listen to me for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it could be. So I understand that, and I'm not trying to at all waste your time. And so that's why I'm not just up here putting out silly content. But I think this whole, the information that's out there, this whole thing's just kind of been, and maybe it's just because right now I'm so determined on learning more things and learning on how to make my videos better and how to making my content better. And I consume myself with other people's content to better, just to learn what they're doing and enjoy it and sit up here and drink my AM, PM coffee. So that is what I want, why I haven't done anything. So, and I'm going to use this craziness because right now, while everybody's out in the world buying all the toilet paper because they're just going to sit at home on their toilet and take dumps. Well, even while you're sitting on your toilet for 30 hours a day, most likely you're going to have this library again in your hand. Now, yesterday I was at the store and I was just had to go pick something up for my wife and for me, whatever. And there was a lady, and it was just a small liquor store. And the lady in front of me went to go buy, there was a 4-pack of toilet paper. And she was like at the counter checking out, and the guy was like, it's $5 for a 4-pack. And unfortunately, I don't know if that's to me, it seemed like, it seemed like a lot of money. Like maybe they were kind of, charging a little bit more. She decided that she didn't want it, but then after that proceeded to buy $10 in lottery tickets. And it just made me think. So the toilet paper is like, did she really need it? Or was it like, hey, everyone's buying toilet paper, so I'm going to buy an extra 4-pack, but I'm like, well, 4, I mean, that's going to, last a while. But it was more about like, do I really need it now, or am I just buying it to hoard it? But then the second thing was that she chose not to buy it and buy the lottery tickets. And I just question that, because I'm thinking, so instead of spending $5 on what you may need, you're going to spend $10 on a hope to win big, and I'm still processing that whole thing, because what I thought in that whole moment is, how many of you guys are just buying into what could be, what may be, or what you need? And the thought of this is not only that the money factor, but also the time factor, because I'm like, okay, so she drove to the liquor store to buy toilet paper, but then got sidetracked and bought lottery tickets, or she just went there to buy lottery tickets and was like, oh, I want toilet paper, because she obviously went to the counter with toilet paper wanting to buy it. So, and I wonder how many of you are out there investing your time in what you need or the fantasy of what could be. Because to me, the internet is full of the fantasy of what could be. And that what could be is crazy to me, because instead of the fantasy of what could be, if you went back now and instead, let's just say she drove, 5 or 10 minutes, 5 minutes to the liquor store. Maybe she's stopping there on her way home and, buying toilet paper because that's what you need. The amount of time invested in that and the monetary value put into that. And then if you were to, now let's go, okay, so you buy $10 in lottery tickets a week, and that's $40 a month. And, that's, $520 a year, okay, now how much are you spending on a dream of what could be, instead of making your dream a reality and taking that time and money and applying that into your life? Like, put that time, put that money into your life and see where that grows. That goes back to that compounding interest. If you took that same $10 and put it into a savings account, and then you had $520 over the course of a year, like, you may go, well, that's not that much, but over 20 years, it sure is. And if you put that into an investment, like, that's going to be a lot more. Or if you were to put that same $520 into something else, could it be even bigger? But more than anything, I'm looking at the time aspect, the time that we spend doing things that are just frivolous. And of course, those frivolous things may keep us going. And I'm not saying that this person couldn't, afford to just waste $10 on lottery tickets because, yeah, that'd be super cool if I won the lottery. Yes, it would be, but this is another thing that I'm going to throw it out there again. You know, like when I listen to these people and they go, you know, I look at me personally and I go, I don't ever play the lottery. I've bought in random times. I've bought a lottery ticket just for fun. But the reason I don't play is I always say God would never let me win the lottery or let me win a big amount because it would probably just totally screw up my life. And if I were to look at 20-year-old Jeremy buying a lottery ticket, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today versus if 40-year-old Jeremy won it, there's a better chance that I'm still going to be here talking to you because obviously over that 20 years of doing stupid things, of learning, I have gained so much more knowledge where I would maybe not be as stupid as I would have when I was 20. Now, that comes to say with anybody, like that instant, like now, are you going to have the same benefits as you would as if you earned it? And 100% no. The hard work, the grit, as some people say, as just the dedication, the devotion to constantly learning, refining your craft, getting better at it. Because I know that if I were to look at the things I built 20 years ago and the things that I look at I build now are completely different. So if I just take that one part of it, that one piece that says, goes, man, what I used to build was just, you know, just crap. But now what I'm building now is so much better. Now, is it all me? No, it's the people that I've surrounded myself with that have helped me build better parts, that were machining better parts, that were designing better parts. All of these people that I've put myself around or I have placed around me are helping me be better. Same thing goes with that, with the monetary thing. If you were just to win the lottery, is it going to be a shit show? Well, hell yes, it totally is going to be. But now, if you put the right people around you in order to manage that, is it going to be completely different than if you just do it by yourself? Yes, 100%. Now, wait a second. So that would also mean depending on the people that you place, because you could go pick your party friends and you could just go blow a lot of money really quick doing stupid things and now be like, now what am I going to do? Like, oh man, well, that was fun for, how many people in your life do you know that, got an inheritance that just, or a, what's it called? Like a, can't even think of the name of it. They get a settlement and they're just rich for, a month, a year, 2 years, and then they're broke and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do now. Well, it all comes back to the same thing. Getting the information that you need right here to succeed. Setting yourself up, planning. You may not be rich right now, but why not learn what you should do or what you can do in order to become that, in order to, if you did become rich or win the lottery, know how to invest it in the stock market. Know the people that you would want to talk to in order to do that. Again, we have so much information right here. Choose to use it as wise as you can. Take this time that we have right now to educate yourself, whether it be about our products or be about what's going on in the world. It could be, you could get, political about it, monetary about it. Who knows what you want to learn? Maybe you want to learn about drawing. Okay, well, now's a great time to get on YouTube and watch videos of people drawing. Like, get your craft down to something amazing. And you may go, well, I have really no interest in drawing or, any of this. It doesn't matter these days. There is so much informative. And I'm not talking about like, okay, sweet, now I can just go play video games for, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's great. And that may be, and I'm, now we go, yeah, but people make millions of dollars playing on esports. Yeah, they do. and that's great. And maybe that could be you, but I don't think that that person is also listening to this. So I just want to say, get out. You can't get out there. So while you're not being able to get out there, while you're stuck inside right now, while you're trying to gain, or I would say not lose your mind because of the craziness that's going on in the world, take the time to just educate yourself. Take the time to learn something new. And I'm going to jump back on my notes to make sure that I didn't miss anything, because I just kind of did some highlights in here, and so sorry to totally bring this down, but that's the big thing right there. So every day, okay, you have 1,440 minutes in the day. Let's start by just taking 15 of those minutes, the 15 minutes that we spent to go buy lottery tickets. You all know that you have that 15 minutes that you wasted doing something totally useless. Take those 15 minutes that you have and learn something new. Pick up a book. You all know that you have books in your house that you've been meaning to read and you've never had the time for, because at the same time, as much information as this thing has in it, it also has the ability to suck your life away. It is a time suck. Like, oh, I'm going to get on Instagram. I'm going to get on TikTok. I'm going to get on Facebook. I'm just going to get on whatever, and I'm just going to watch it for a minute, and before you know it, an hour's gone by and you've done nothing but get dumber. Use that time to get smarter. Use that time to educate yourself on something that you didn't know. And then bring that to bring it to work. You're still going to work. Be like, hey guys, guess what I learned? Talk about it. Because then that shows other people, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, where'd you learn that on? Oh, I learned it on so-and-so. And before you know it, you've sparked an interest in all these other people. They're like, oh, really? I wanted to learn about that too. I didn't know you could learn about that on YouTube or whatever it may be. And I'm putting out YouTube because YouTube has so much it's like Google. Obviously they're one and the same, but God, the amount of information out there is just incredible. So that's it. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I just want to thank you guys. I'm not necessarily going to have guests on this podcast every time. And I think that that's really what I wanted to do was, bring you, really wise people and smart people. And we're going to do that. But at the same time, sometimes you may just come up here and just hear me rant. And just kind of talk to you and be real. And like I said, this is my own, instead of a diary in a book, I'm making you guys a very personal video, audio diary of my life, what's going on in my head and what's going in my world. Hence the name Jeremy's World 10. And the reason I put on a 10, if you don't know, is because we always look at 10 as the best. Oh, that place is a perfect 10. She's a perfect 10. He's a perfect 10. Okay, well, my goal is to achieve that 10, and I know that I will never get there, and I don't ever desire to be that 10, but it is not saying that it is not a goal. My goal is to always be better, to always encourage myself, to encourage my kids, my family, my team members to be better than they are today. And I do not only do this here, but I'm doing this constantly with my team. Like, hey guys, did you watch this? Did you do this? Did you do that? I want them to be better because I know that they have so much limitless possibilities of what they can be. Maybe just, pushing them a little bit. And so here I am to just push you a little bit. So there's a ton of information out there, guys. I hope that you guys all remain safe during this crazy time of the coronavirus. And I hope that I can look back on this and go, God, I'm glad that that is over. I am so thankful and blessed that my family all, made it through that safely. And I just, be safe out there, guys. Wash your hands and, stop being crazy. Sorry, I get off on these little, now is more than ever a time to just help other people. There are so many people that are at a higher risk than I'm going to say myself in my age group. Like, God, if you have a neighbor that's a, older person, reach out to them. Hey, is there anything that I can get you? Is there anything I can help you with? Because you never know. They may just be watching the news so scared and freaked out in their house that they don't want to leave because they're so scared of getting sick that they may not have the food or toilet paper or necessities to get them through the next day. So I'm going to leave you with one thing, and that's it. During this time, go talk to your neighbors. Like, get out of your comfort zone. Like, this whole thing is about getting out of your comfort zone, but really get out of it. Go talk to a neighbor. We know that we all have older neighbors that probably could use a little bit of love, a little bit of help in this trying time. And now is a better time than ever because I'm sure some of you guys don't even know your neighbors, and that's even sadder. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Get out, meet a neighbor. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that if you found any value in this, if my words made any sense to you, that you will please share this with a friend. Tell someone else about it. And for all of you 12 people watching this, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to almost take 41 minutes out of your day to listen to my craziness. And that's all I want to say. Thank you. Please give it a thumbs up, share it. And if there's something that you would like me to talk about on any podcast, please comment below and I will be more than happy to address that or talk about it. Or and if I don't know about it, attempt to find someone that knows way more about it than I do. So I am Jeremy Johnson. This is Jeremy's World 10, and I am out of here.
That's a wrap.